So, I feel like these videos always start out with me saying this, but it's been a while. For the past 3 months now, I have not shared anything that has pertained to Colorless anywhere. If you are new here, Colorless is a turn-based RPG with time attacks and defense that has a similar look and feel to the Paper Mario and Mario & Luigi RPG series. If you want more information about the creation of the idea, I recommend watching the first devlog. But anyway, last time we talked about adding more content, level building, overworld interactions, and a simple dialogue system with characters. All of these were still in the early stages. My NPCs were not animated, the colorless holes that you would fill up made you use color orbs and would give you items, and lastly, the special attacks were just about to be implemented in the overworld. So let's talk about some of the changes I have done to these early stage designs. Firstly, we now have our first NPC characters in the world. Since Uu Village is a village filled with monkeys, the obvious first NPCs are monkeys. They walk, idle, turn towards the player when talking, and have completed dialogue. I tend to add more variations to these monkeys for some side quests later on. I plan to also add gorillas into the village. The monkeys don't have sound effects just yet, but I plan to do some voice acting myself and also get a couple of sound effects for my buddies as well. Next, colorless holes have been changed to interact differently. Now, all you need to cover colorless holes are some color points. You must use your brush slam on the hole and have the amount or more color points to fill the hole. Color points are used for using special attacks while in battle, and will have the ability to regenerate in a battle if you do a regular attack with good timing in a colored battle. This is not possible in a colorless battle, but I will go more into depth about that later on. This will make the player more keen to battling, as a free and easy way to get more color points is just to duke it out with an enemy nearby. You also don't even have to defeat the enemy, as running away has been added into the battle system. The running is all based upon how many enemies are in the battle. The more enemies, the more difficult it is to run away. While we are talking about the battle system, let's talk about the implementation of special attacks. Currently, there have been 2 special attacks implemented into the game. Both of these special attacks have their own interactions that the player must do. I want to have all the different color spirits have 5 different attacks that will be unlocked with color orbs and be upgraded to deal more damage. Let's talk about the 2 attacks implemented with the red color spirit Gus. Red Fire Breath. Gus will jump into the frame of the camera and begin inhaling air. On your command, similar to how Brush Slam works, he will release the air, transforming it into a massive flamethrower attack that will damage all enemies. In the future, it will have a chance to burn enemies as well. Next is Red Fire Rush. Gus will jump into the frame targeting one enemy with all his rage and might. Mashing Q and E in quick succession will make him pummel the enemy and finally release an uppercut to deal massive amounts of damage and in the future be able to burn the enemy. I love how these 2 special attacks turned out with the camera movement and lighting effects that were added. It really makes you feel powerful. The last thing that has been added to this battle system is some heads up to the player for when they don't have enough room for items that have been dropped due to their full inventory. That is pretty much everything new that has been added to the battle system, so let's talk about a new similar system that has been added, the boss system. Yes, you can't just get these special attacks so easily. Each color spirit will propose a challenge before they will allow you to use their powers to make sure you are worthy. Some will battle you and some will ask you favors, but in the end, you need to prove to them that you have what it takes. Right now is a clip of a battle with Gus being played. Each boss battle will have some different interaction that you haven't used before to defend attacks. For Gus, holding the spacebar while he is doing his fire breath attack is the only way to defend against it without dealing massive damage, but timing it incorrectly will break the shield. I won't show you any more of it, for you will just have to see how it plays out yourself in the demo that will be released in the upcoming months. Let's talk about the overworld. We have some new areas, area types, shops, player menus, and interactions. I have some early stages of the volcano scene and the first colorless area being worked on currently. Let's talk about the colorless area first. As I said, in colorless areas, the ability to regenerate color points on enemies is no longer possible. How can you get color from something that has already no color? Secondly, all colorless enemies are immune to regular attacks and can only be damaged by color attacks which require color points, so being in these areas are dangerous to the ill-prepared. But the player will be rewarded for completing some of these battles with higher tier loot like color orbs and combined items that heal and give more CP. This might change later on as the game develops more and if anything needs to be balanced, but that is a very far future. We also have 2 new blockades in this area, which are this door and this tree that has fallen down. The tree can now be cleared with the addition of Gus's help, which will give you the ability to summon him and breathe fire in the direction you are facing. I intend to add more interactions with this fire breath, like lighting torches in dark areas and more. Now let's talk about this door. The door can be opened by completing the Simon Says next to it. Again, some more basic interactions, but this will keep the player engaged. The other new early stage area is the volcano scene, which is super early in its stages. I only have 2 rooms completed, the music and collisions. I just wanted to show you, as the lighting and animation of this area made me super excited to see how the whole volcano will play out. I have a basic puzzle idea that requires the player to use their overworld attacks to get further into the dungeon. Let's head over back to Ooh Village to talk about the 2 amazing additions, which are the shop and storage box. Shops will be located in each village or city in the world. They will all have different items which you can buy and sell. You will have the ability to sell regular items and battle items that are currently in your inventory, but the shopkeeper won't let you buy unless you free up some space first. Well, thankfully, you now have a chest that can store up to 50 food and battle items. His name is Chomp, a chest that can be seen as a multi-dimensional portal to a storage room. Chomp has many locations, like being in the shop or just around the world in key checkpoint areas. Okay, finally, the last addition, the creation of an updated player menu. Before, the player menu was a basic book that reminded the player their stats and items on their character. Now we have 2 additional menus, which are the item menu, which allows you to use food items outside of battle to heal your HP and regenerate color points, and the enemy glossary. The enemy glossary will now keep track of all the enemies you have examined while in battle, which will give you the same information as if you were in the battle with them. Completing enemy pages will make a certain character later in the game be very happy and will reward you. And there you have it. That was a lot to talk about. If you have any questions about game development or want information that I may be willing to give out, leave a comment. While you are down there, please consider subscribing to keep yourself updated on my videos, and like the video if you enjoyed it. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next devlog.